Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the H8FUL Show, the program on the internet that even when you're done with it, it isn't done with you. I'm Hateful Tate, your anon without a plan, because what's the point of living when you know what to expect for yourself around every corner? Now, let's get to a regular scheduled degeneracy, because the rabbit hole goes deep and the mental gymnastics are gold winning at the Special Olympics. Today, we're getting off at a corner of brony internet autism called Ponytown. Now this 16-bit aneurysm was gifted to us by the brony programmer and game designer known as Agatanzar, a bona fide ripoff of Terraria that reeks with as much Asperger's and ADHD as its predecessor. The simple description of this platform is a game of ponies building a town. Well, isn't that just precious? This maverick-minded individual has synonymously created a digital ice cream store that serves all flavors of the spectrum. So now all of you fedora-tipping atheists that call yourselves bronies can fulfill your fantasies of going to Equestria, not by means of noose or at the end of a gun barrel, because God was way ahead of you in that regard when thinking to himself why he made a seventh day. I'm sure when Agatamzar came up with this idea after a passionate 12-hour session of Minecraft and an excessive amount of alcohol, they went into this with only the most purest of intentions for their creation. But the internet can turn such expectations into something terrible quite quickly. But this isn't like chat roulette becoming nothing but dicks on cam. This is a chat room full of bronies. We're talking cringy OC designs on par with the Sonic fandom, edgy humor, role players, cloppers, and insecure man-children. You know, the usual existential crap that would make any healthy-minded person question the fate of this failed generation or contemplate suicide. Probably both. This community consists of mostly adult males who have dedicated their time and sex drive around a little girl's show. And much like the fandom itself, this is definitely not fertile grounds for predatory behavior.
So, when did you start dating Meloetta, or Meloetta, or however the hell you pronounce the name?
That's a few months ago.
Today's failed abortion is brought to us by the parents of MeloettaBrothers, or Adrian Cazares. But hateful, you might be asking, what does this have to do with the person in question? Well, I'm glad you asked. While the now 19-year-old's mother is crying herself to sleep every night, ruminating on why she didn't just swallow the bastard when the father offered to pull out, our hard-working art student in San Francisco, California, is having a
good time
at, you guessed it, the Autism Support Group. Now get this, when he's not spending his time crying his dick by the buckets full in front of a computer screen with pixelated horses that behind those happy, smiling faces are doing the exact same thing, our boy makes content on his totally unautistic YouTube channel. Take his video he made 3 years ago, for example. This Walt Disney made Gary's Mod animations that would make the likes of Das Boshit be put to shame and make Kitty0706 roll in his grave. Today, he does what any prominent YouTube content creator would do, making video game commentary. Take his series on Kingdom Hearts 3, for example. You get to sit there and listen for over 50 minutes to a seductive voice that definitely doesn't make me want to hasten the pace of tying this noose. He's also a voice actor going under the alias of Inkling Boy Adrian. In fact, if you were to Google this name, you'd find the remnants of his now defunct DeviantArt account. Huh, I wonder what caused that. But do not fear. Before this senseless purge of such quality content, I was able to save everything that the Da Vinci of our generation so carelessly cast to the wayside on the Google Doc in the description of this video. Our first piece is unironically titled Adrian the Hedgehog as Inkling Boy Adrian in SSS Donut Steel by ours truly. You know, I've had my fair share of coming across cringy Sonic OCs and recolors, but this one isn't so bad. It's almost as if he just recolored the shoes and called it his own. And look at this! It's him just taking the sprite from the original Sonic the Hedgehog game and doing the same thing with his OC. Donut Steel, man. Maximum effort here, folks. Alright, hateful. I get it. This dude's parents should have given his ass more attention with the flat end of a wooden spoon or a leather belt. What's the big deal? This absolute Chad was brought to my attention in early February of 2019 by a friend who had been following his activities. I think you'll find what they have to say about him would of course spark an interest on my end. As you can see from the logs, our alpha incel has bagged himself a doe. Well, hot damn, good on him. But what's this? When my friend asks how old she is, he deflects from answering by using some A-grade debate tactics, such as stating how uncomfortable answering such a question would be, begging him not to keep pressuring him, and my own personal favorite, the constipation emoticon. Finally, our superior male specimen caves in, stating that she's 15, with a sad crying emoji at the end. Aw, isn't that just sad? But get this, he also claims in a recorded call with said friend that he's been with her
around September.
Poor Adrian just wanted to get his Sonic OC's dick wet, and he finally got his wish granted with someone he admitted is an underage girl for almost a year now. For shame on you. For those wondering, hey, how could this possibly get any better? Following a heated discussion on his girlfriend's Discord server, he finally admitted to the same friend of mine in DMs on Twitter that his girlfriend is not actually 15, but that she's 24. It seems Adrian has played my friend like a fiddle. He used the clever tactic of admitting to a concerned adult who is a member of a community that is known to be rampant with pedophiles that their girlfriend, who is apparently a consenting adult, was underage. Whoa, man. You really dodged an anal prison raping with logic like that. This game of checkers has now become chess. Holy shit. But wait! There's more. There's always more. So by some leap of faith, we were able to convince Meloetta that we were on his side and that we'd be able to prove his innocence. And he believed it. So in a call with Buttons, Shelly D, and myself, we were able to get screenshot evidence in their DMs that she admitted to him not being 23 at the time, but 12. 12! When this guy goes to prison and is thrown in a jail cell with a horny cellmate named Bill, I bet he's going to use the same repellent that got him in this situation and say that he's got a super tight rectum. Like it whistles a tune when it closes tight. Good lord.
And when did you break up?
You mean with my old boyfriend, or?
Yeah, with Meloetta.
Yeah, Meloetta, yeah.
The saying, a man is known by the company he keeps, is something I'm sure we all can relate to. And I can assure you, dear viewers, the friends that he has is quite telling of the ironclad masculinity our boy Meloetta possesses. Going back to the girlfriend's Discord server, my friend eventually got a link for Meloetta and sent it to me. By the time I saw the message and went in, the flame war for Meloetta's innocence had already begun. Apparently my friend, for some bizarre reason, was upset about his exchange with Adrian and brought his friends from Badman Vita's server, Top of the Barrel, to bully and harass this poor lot. I am ashamed to admit this to you all, but I too was possessed by the same terrible desire to mock and shit on someone who at the time claimed to be dating a minor, and the people defending him. Our first soldier who went against the merciless peons of the Shadow Council was Elijah Jones of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now this brave-hearted hero was using the magic of friendship and his superhuman tism powers to win the day against this black-hearted evil. He didn't care that his friend was a pedophile, even going as far to use his tism vision to see through the deceit of genuine evidence, spamming the cyberbullies within the chat as well as the name of the owner of the server. However, it was a fruitless endeavor. The forces of the news crew proved too much for him, but our hero Meloetta came in to stop Elijah from finishing the knot. He used the same tactics against my friend on the members of the Docs R Us Club, but Adrian had eaten his vegetables on that day and was unable to activate his constipation emoticons he got from the incel mini quests. In order to win the day, our boy had to call in the big guns.
And you brought Tails into that server so he could protect you.
Yeah, so he could protect me.
In comes Tailscappy. This nigga is the danger. He gives me cold sweats every time I think about him. Even without admin powers, this guy, by some Herculean form of thinking process, used the same strategies as Adrian and his brass-balled friend Elijah, but he used the power of IRL best friendship against us, as well as some kind of Sumerian language that even to this day I don't have the faintest idea of what it's supposed to convey. Clearly, we were dealing with someone of a superior mind, so I panicked and resort to the last tactic I knew from my time with the Blue Horse group, doxing. So I opened up DDoS, called my buddies from X on 4chan, and we got to work building our docs on Adrian. What we discovered was quite interesting. After looking up his Skype and Facebook, we were able to get his IRL name, where he lives, and goes to school. I was certain this would be the end for them, but I foolishly mistook this game of chess for checkers, and like any smart player, he tossed the board and docs off the table. So I took my leave from the server and victory was claimed for Adrian.
So, you feel safe when Tails is out instead of you? Like Tails when Tails comes out when you're scared?
Yes, so that way he could help me take care of me.
Now, Tails is Adrian's best friend. This guy is also a playa. He's got himself a 28-year-old girlfriend named Sweetie Cake. He's also Adrian's wingman in getting him set up with the girlfriend by telling them he has a heart attack and that he had to put him asleep, and to encourage her to block her parents on Twitter.
I just want to make sure I got this here. So you and Tails exist in the same body, correct?
Yes.
Paging Dr. Phil, my son's best friend is a fictional anthropomorphic fox from a video game series made back in the 90s. Apparently he's been using his alter ego to pick up underage chicks on the internet by faking heart attacks and cheating on them with women of a consenting age. I'm sure all that money isn't going for therapy sessions, but in electroshock therapy instead. There is something definitely neurologically going wrong in this dude's head that needs some fixing.
I actually didn't break up with him. Why?
So, I'm sure you're all dying to know who the lucky lady is to this Chat Alpha. Well, if you haven't been paying attention to the logs on screen, it's someone who goes by the name of 51, or KookieMilk. If you're an artist within the Brony community, I'm sure you've heard this name before. If not, strap yourselves in for this story. Back in December of last year, I was DM ditched on Discord by our community's own cuck dog millionaire, Chaos Armada. He told me that she steals pony artwork by tracing them and recoloring them as her own OC. So pretty much the lowest end of the spectrum when it comes to content creation. Also, she apparently has multiple alternate accounts that come in to defend her whenever the haters call her out for what she's been doing. So why the sudden change to 51, you might ask? Sounds random, but there's a story behind this as well. On KookieMilk's DA page, it states that she's from the UK. However, many people who claim to know 51 personally say that she's from Israel. And apparently, 51 is the name of the bus that is owned by a company from Israel that she takes to school. That's right. Going back to the logs my friends had with Meloetta, he claims she's 24, but yet still goes to high school? According to old reliable Wikipedia, within the educational system of Israel is as followed. Primary education, 6 to 12 years old. Middle school, 12 to 15. And high school, 14 to 19. Now, we don't have 100% confirmation of 51's age. All attempts to reach out to her have been cut short. Now, I'm not one to throw assumptions here, but my BS radar is going off the chart. Given the fact that Adrian is a compulsive liar and that he has a split personality are the two biggest factors in this judgment. Also, since 51 admitted in the privacy of their personal DMs that she's 12 and not actually 23, I'm willing to believe that she was being honest with him at that moment. She's just some scared kid who doesn't want him or herself to get into trouble. But it doesn't stop there. Seems Romeo and Juliet had problems and they had a breakup at one point. Something about him lying to her in their DMs? What could that be about? Meet one of Meloetta's exes, whom I'm keeping anonymous, but this person gave me info on 2 other pedophiles outed in the past. Blue Ranger Lyric, streamed on FNGR's channel, and Kippy, covered by Leo Convoy, as well as followed up by FNGR. All 3 videos will be linked in the video description. So back in April of last year, Meloetta had a crush on this girl, and confessed to him that she was 15, while he himself admitted to being 18. But this did not turn our chivalrous playboy away, talking about love and sex that he fantasizes with her when she comes of age. But what she has provided me with, that's as far as things have gone. So what was the iceberg that caused this relationship to sink? A common theme you'll see with Meloetta is he can be quite clingy and desire attention and validation to the point where he claims to fake a heart attack and labels it as a funny joke in an attempt to keep the relationship going. But wouldn't you know, that's what caused the breakup to happen in the first place. You're starting to see a pattern here.
Oh, you're still with him?
Yeah. Why? Did something happen?
Meet Diamond Chi, the actual pony girlfriend of Meloetta. A VA within the community that was unaware that her boyfriend, at the time, I'm assuming to be the case now, was cheating on her with other women. Now Diamond is 19, and I get it, man. She was busy with her career and you wanted some attention. But if you didn't get what you wanted from her, why didn't you just break up with her instead of doing this shit behind her back with children, no less? The internet is a fascinating place, but in Meloetta's case, he was using it to find love and attention. It didn't matter how old they were, the commitments he had made previously, what lies he had to make up or convince himself it was real. It was all imaginary to him because his logic is, this is the internet. These relationships are not real to him, just as he believes the consequences to follow are.